we all know a little bit about him. It says here he went on to be a sheriff in Salt Lake and served as a police officer there in later years. But this is his property on the corner here. I'm not sure if he had a house here or not.
Guys, today I'm originally from Independence, Missouri. Kind of wondering where you all were from. Utah. Any questions today, feel free to ask and I'll answer to the best of my abilities. If I don't know the answer, then I'll find someone else who does. If you can't hear me at any point in time, I'm here in 1839 following the prophet Joseph Smith. They purchased 135 acres of land. Now that land was extended from the river, which is just over there, north just a few blocks. Excavation, and this stable would have been run through the Mansion House Hotel, which would have been across the street over there where that white picket fence is. You pay a quarter per night to have your horse stay here, and that would provide for both food and lodging. Now we know from early paintings that this would have been 3 stories tall. The top floor was where you keep your hay and oats, the middle floor was for your buggies and carriages, and down here on the bottom you would keep your horses. Can anyone guess how many horses you could keep down here? Probably 30 or 40. 30 or 40? Joseph Smith actually advertised that he could keep 75 horses here.
That's where the Mansion House would have been, across the street from the stable.
Traveling. A lot of the saints are from England and they travel across the Atlantic Ocean to New Orleans, and they get on a riverboat and travel north here to Nauvoo. And when the river was low, you'd have to get off of your boat and carry your things on the land so that way your boat wouldn't get stuck in the mud. Now it'd take about 7 weeks in all to get from England here to Nauvoo if everything went correctly.
This is what Nauvoo looked like, this swamp, when they first came here.
Water let run off and back into the river, and then they would have cut down the trees and the grass in the areas where they were going to build. These Revelation to build the Nauvoo house and the Nauvoo temple.
The Nauvoo
This house
house.
was originally to be in an L shape with 3 stories of brick on top of the foundation of stone that you see there. This would hold 300 people that could come here to Nauvoo to see the kingdom of God in action. During the Mormon era, it was only completed up to the first layer of brick, and the reason for this is because the people were more focused on building the temple here in town. When Emma remarried a man by the name of Major Louis Bideman, he completed the house to what you see today, and he would have left the outside walls.
Here is where Emma passed away. This is where she lived with her husband, Mr. Bideman.
Over the years, some water had gotten in there, and a few months later, she had their bodies moved from here over to the spring house.
This is where Joseph Smith's body was secretly buried the first time.
One will be passing a paint. You'll see this little log building. This is actually a spring house. This is where you would keep your vegetables. The decision was made by the church to find the bodies of Joseph and Hiram Smith. They were found underneath the basement of where the spring house had been. At that time, they were moved over to their present-day resting spot, and this is where you can find Emma Hale Smith, Joseph Smith Jr., and Hiram Smith. There's a separate entrance, and you guys are welcome to go over here after.
Here's the mighty Mississippi. And this is the homestead where Joseph and Emma lived. This log part was their first part, and then it was added on to. And this is where they actually lived. And they are now interred over here. Mansion House of Joseph Smith and Emma Hale Smith. The corner across from the homestead, which is right over here. And this is the back of the homestead. This is the foundation of the hotel that was added on to the Nauvoo house. The Nauvoo house is all that remains. It's very nicely decorated inside with period pieces. And of course this part has been destroyed. They added this part on because they had so many visitors camping in their yard they needed room, so that they could have room for their own family. Sandra and Kelly are having fun walking down the streets of Nauvoo here. They're quite interested in all that's going on and seeing the old things. I'm real proud of the way that they've been interested in this and have acted. Mansion. This is right where the sign was. They found the place that the original sign for the Nauvoo Mansion. Through archaeology digs, the original curve. The streets were quite wide, the girl said, to accommodate all the wagons and horses and the busyness. This was probably a very, very busy corner at the time, the sort of the center of town. And across the street, the homestead, and it's very pretty, overlooking the Mississippi River. We're headed down to the store that Joseph Smith started, the red brick store, which is on down the street from the homestead. Of course, there weren't signs that said cemetery. On the banks of the Mississippi where the graves of Emma, Hiram, and Joseph and other family members are now, right next to the homestead of Joseph Smith. A beautiful view from behind of the green lawns and the beauty of the Mississippi River behind it. It would have been kind of nice to come here first before you read the Work and the Glory, but it's made the Work and the Glory more interesting now too. At the graves. What? At the grave site of Joseph and Hiram and Emma Family Cemetery, where many of the prophet's children, his brother, his mother, his father, are buried here. And the lady guide said that it was the custom to plant lilac bushes on graves, and there are lilac bushes here. And this spot over here to the right of Emma and Joseph and Hiram's graves, which have stones, do not have stones, but they do have lilac bushes, which are supposed to commemorate or mark the spots where many of these other family members and others are buried, including the prophet's mother and father. And beyond that is, again, the Mississippi River. Beautiful, beautiful spot. This little cabin where Emma and Joseph lived when they first moved here on the back of the homestead. The home of Lucy Mack Smith, the mother of Joseph Smith. And there's a little girl knocking on the door. I wonder who she is. This is the Heber C. Kimball home. Has an added-on addition and a large yard. All the saints were given one acre. Each block was 4 acres, and each saint was given 1 acre for their home and for their gardens.
Got it. Mama, can I take a picture? Mama.
Well, of Wilford Woodruff. And there's Kendra walking up to his home. And we will go in here now. Now, there's Joseph and Emma Smith and Kendra. Full garden here, right behind the visitor center.
Mama. There's this.
Here is the woman praying, knelt in prayer. I made a cross stitch of this for Aunt Jo once for Christmas. balance, learning, and a family circle, a mother and a father, a little child learning to walk. Joyful moment, a mother dancing and singing with her children. It's preparing her son. Moment, a mother playing with her children. In her mother's, just a minute, with love. And the final one here, the end is fulfillment. The grandmother making a quilt in a rocking chair.
All women leave a rich legacy that links past, present, and future in timeless bonds of faith in God and self, as well as service to God and others. A woman's fulfillment comes from her individual efforts and her contributions to those she loves. A woman can have a profound, lasting influence for good on her family and community. She bears, nurtures, loves, trains, and teaches her own children and family, while she blesses and uplifts many others. The good she does extends from generation to generation. She and her husband, acting as equal partners in marriage, help each of the family grow strong.
Courtship for eternity.
Each woman is a daughter of God and is thus of infinite worth. Her potential for personal growth is great throughout her life.